Well, today's a little different, and some bad things have happened on the homestead. Uh, I guess we'll talk about it right after this. Hi, guys. Well, welcome back to Herbal Gardens Homestead. Glad to see you again. Um, I just been going through some stuff on the homestead here. Um, I'm I'm really it's kind of sad, you know. But we lost some birds. We lost we lost some of our chicks. Kind of get sad about it every time for the simple fact that I I'm not trying to be selfish or anything, but every time that we lose chicks or an animal, I feel like we're losing money. And I also think, every time that something like that happens, I think about the time and effort that is put into taking care of that animal. It feels like it was a waste. But it's not a waste because we learn through these trials and tribulations that we go through. And we try to figure out how to stop certain things from happening. But we have to also think, is there anything that can you really do about it? Can you really do anything about it? This situation was not our, nothing we could do about it, actually. Um, I'm not going to get into details why or put blame on anybody. We had, we just built the brooders and we had them all ready. We finished, um, I built new ones because we want to start incubating more and more eggs and stuff like that. So we built some new brooders so that we can be able to have more chicks. Um, to be self-sufficient is very, very important to us, especially me. I've hurt myself doing certain things. I've I've literally felt like giving up so many times. I'm not kidding. This is not something for people with thin skin. You've got to have thick skin to have a homestead or to build something that is going to be able to turn into a self-maintaining, let's call it a vehicle or machine. Call it a machine. I'm trying to get uh, the garden done and do so many other things at the same time, and it's really hard for me. I want you all to understand that you can do it yourself, but it's going to be really hard. It's better if you create a team, you know. If you have your family involved, that helps. But there's so many things that need to be done. You're going to possibly be sore sometime. You're going to be achy. Your body's going to hurt. Especially when you get, past your 30s. Or even if you're past your 40s. You just got to keep working hard. But I will tell you this, you got to love it. If you don't love it, you're going to bust your butt to do something, get to almost where it's actually going to be able to produce something, and then you're going to be done. And you're going to be hurting so bad you can't maintain it. You have to get past that maintaining point where the machine is working enough for you to just maintain it and keep it going and do little by little after that. But you're going to have to work hard until you get it to a point to where it can be self-sufficient. I moved here and we bought more land, and we're going to move again. And that's what scares me. Because I moved here, harvested everything. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much stuff I harvested. I mean, I cut plants. I dug up plants out of the ground because I was like, I can't leave this. I mean, it was ridiculous. The emotional stuff that I was going through and thinking about all the time and effort I put into growing something, and then I had to leave it behind. And then all the plants that I was, all the plants that I was, growing from seeds, and then the plants that I would reroot, and then, you have to take time with those because you have to wait till the roots grow, and then you have to replant them. And I've replanted things more than twice. Just one plant, replant it, go from rerooting something, put it in a little area, squish the plant till it roots, and then take it out of that, plant it into a larger pot in case it needs to go into the sun, out of the sun, into the sun. And I would do rotations. And then all of a sudden, you find the garden spot that you want it to go into. And then you take it and then you put it into the garden. And that's where you hope that it's going to stay, grow, multiply, and give you the things that you need back from it, and to make you feel like you've done something, you were successful at it, and it's going to be able to give you back what you put into it. It's hard. And like I said, I've gone around and I've trimmed and clipped. I clipped things down to just sticks because I wanted everything off of a plant. And I grind up things into powder. I grind things into just small things to put into bags and jars so that I could bring it here with me in case I wanted to stick it in a jar and sell it at a farmer's market, But I'm doing the best I can. And you have to understand, you need to do the best you can. And it's inside of you to do it. I'm about to go out there to the brooder again. And I hope that when I go out there, I don't see... we lost 11 so far. And some of them, I don't know if you know this motion or not, but this is not a good motion. when a bird starts going like this, when it starts looking up, and then he'll start turning his head, and then start looking up towards his back, and then he'll look up so high that it falls back on its backside. That is it getting ready to die. So I thought I would share this. And if this has happened to any of you before, even if it hasn't, I'm sorry that it did. And to some of you who haven't experienced that yet, I'm sorry when it does. And I hope it doesn't happen to any of you. I hope you're lucky. I don't know if it has anything to do with the Merrick shots that were given to them, the dosage or anything. Make sure, if you have a good vet that comes out to your homestead or anything like that, make sure that they're qualified, or make sure that you know who gives your birds their shots or anything like that. Make sure that they know what they're doing and they know what dose to give a chick or a larger fowl. And make sure that if you give them your shots yourself, you do the correct research and you know what you're doing. Make sure that if you buy chicks, get them from a reputable place. I'm just trying to think of a whole bunch of different scenarios just to, help you out. Make sure that, if you grow them yourself, like you incubate chicks and things like we do, make sure that, your heat settings are correct. Make sure that, if you allow your chicks to be, if you breed your birds and your chicks are outside with them, keep an eye on the eggs. Keep an eye on how long it takes for the chickens to hatch for that particular breed or something. Keep watch every morning when you go out to, I don't know, so if you change water all the time, I don't know. If you give them food, some people give large amounts of food in larger containers so they don't have to go out so often. Some people like to give small amounts so they can check on them every day to see how much food and water they're going through each day. That's what we did at first, because we like to know how many ounces of water do the birds go through. That way we know how much water they need per day. And there's different size birds, so you have to regulate that also. Like how like if you have a bantam chicken, we have bantams, like miniature bantams, they're probably, I don't know, a foot tall, I guess, about a foot tall, 10 inches. I mean, from the ground, from their legs, bottom of their feet up, 10 inches to a foot. When you go out there, check your water, check your food, and then look to see if they've hatched. We found out ours hatched because the mother, she brought them out to get water and food. We saw this little thing, little fluffy butt go and run out. You like that sound effect? And she brought them out, and we saw them come out, and it was like the coolest thing. Well, anyway, it was cold, so we grabbed them and we put them in the brooder and gave them the correct temperature, the heat that they needed, because I know there's going to be times when she's not going to be sitting on them. They could die overnight, and if it gets really too cold, if she doesn't sit on them properly. I think at the time she had like 12 eggs under her. And then when 3 hatched, there was 9 left. We had to get rid of 9 eggs. Out of 12, only 3 babies hatched. So we had to get rid of 9 of them. And we put those eggs in the incubator because of how cold it was outside. So we had to give it the correct humidity and the correct temperature. You know, we try to keep them, eggs, they normally hatch around 95 degrees with a heat, moisture, probably around 50, something like that, 50 to 55. And they'll hatch. But we saved those. Those were good. The other chicks, we lost 11. And I'm about to go out there, like I said, and check again. But keep your heads up. And always remember you can do it. And don't give up. If you really want to do it, you don't have to do it at a grand scale or anything like that. If you're going to make a living off of your land, you're not going to be able to do it at too small of a scale, or basically you won't be able to walk around anywhere because everything will be so tight. You have like so many herbs right out your door that you can't really walk around. I know people, and because I'm one of them, that used to, I was like a backyard homesteader, you know. I was an urban homesteader. We had the house. We were on half an acre. That's it, half an acre, and we had tons of vegetables, plants. We had banana trees, strawberries, all different types of, we had okra, we had tomatoes, we had lemons, oranges, grapefruits, chickens. We didn't have goats at the time. That was not enough land for that. We had chickens. Chickens and vegetables and stuff like that. Chickens, vegetables, and fruits. But you can do it. And herbs, tons of herbs. Herbs is our, that's our thing because, I do a lot of medicinal herbs and tinctures and salves, and I make all those types of things. You know what? One day, why don't we make one together or something? We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do something like that. Set it up. But there's people out there. There's those of you who's been through what I've been through. I know you understand. So, it kind of is, I try not to attach myself too much, but sometimes it's just hard because you think about all the effort you put into doing things. But we just got to keep on going. Isn't that right? Okay. Well, let me try to put a smile on my face because I got to keep on going today and doing what I have to do. Thanks for joining me right here at Herbal Gardens Homestead. And I really hope that your days are good for you. And always remember, love your land and it'll love you back. Take care.